And welcome back to part 6 of Dragon Ball Z What If. Last time on the Dragon Ball Z What If, Broly is going apeshit. He has completely wasted Frieza out of existence for killing Goku. And rightfully so. He just saw his brother die, and it basically caused him to snap and go into a Super Saiyan form, added onto his Akari form. And at the moment, he is currently chasing the other Z fighters, trying to kill them. Also, he can get his brother's corpse back because that's the only thing he's seeing. He's seeing red, and he cannot think of anything else but to, rescue his brother's corpse. He's like, go, ah! And they're just like, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? We gotta slow him down. We gotta get to fight the Dragon Ball so we can resurrect Goku. It'll hopefully get Broly back to his senses. He's just throwing energy blast everywhere. Oh, crap. One of us is going to have to stall him out. To a Yamcha. All of them are just like, I got it, don't worry. It's like, wait, Chaozu, you can't. It's like, don't worry, I might not be as strong, near as strong as you guys are, but I got things that can, I've got my own set of tricks up my sleeve. And so, Chaozu is hiding. And remember, Chaozu's abilities are more mental, psychic based than they are martial arts. He's not like he's weak. He's stronger than the average person by a long margin, but he's the weakest of the Z fighters by far. Even by Roshi, he's still weaker than Roshi, at least in the canon. But we see this even in Super, where he was actually able to stop Goku from moving for a little bit using his powers. Super Goku, who had absorbed God Ki into his base. So Chaozu can definitely keep Broly, at least for a time, in check. And Broly's like, kind of like what Goku did with the God Ki, which was a great thing. That was a cool thing to see in that movie. Just binding him with the God Ki. Goku! And after a while, Chaozu's like, and Broly's rage is growing and growing and growing, and it's actually causing his power to continue to spike and spike. And Chaozu's hiding behind like a rock. Like, you really can't see Chaozu, fortunately, for Chaozu anyway. But ultimately, they get to Capsule Corps. Like, Bulma, I was like, guys, what's wrong? What happened? It's like, we need the Dragon Balls fast. We need the Dragon Radar. What do you mean? What happened? They just see Goku. They say, Goku, what's wrong with Goku? And then, unfortunately, and Chi-Chi and Gohan are luckily at home. What happened to Uncle Goku? And as Trunks comes, I was like, and they just kind of like, oh god, no. I was like, wait, Dragon Balls, yeah, Dragon Radar, yeah, right. Ooh, a little scratchy there on the throat. And she goes and she gets the Dragon Radar, but sadly, Chaozu finally like, Tiana can't hold it anymore, sorry. It's like, and he just goes, it's like, crap, he's coming. What's going on? Where's Broly? That's or Yamcha. That's complicated. Is it go? And Krillin goes flying at breakneck speed to get the Dragon Balls as quick as possible. Unfortunately, Tien and Yamcha are just like, it's like, well, if we're gonna die, I can't believe this. We're gonna die at the hands of one of our best friends. Well, if that's gonna happen, man, we can always be resurrected with the Dragon Balls too. All right. It's like, yeah, but I mean, I'd like to save that for another time, if ever. It's like, yeah, well, if nothing else, I got your back if you got mine. Right, friends to the end, man. It's like, and Broly's just there, and his power's flowing. It's overflowing, man. Like, he's verging on going legendary here. It's like, and he's about to go out and just come in and attack Tien and Yamcha. Does it? Broly! It's like, it's Broly, Dad! Stop! Please! Bulma! Trunks! Broly is just screaming and and he finally just boom! And craters into the ground. There's a giant crater now in front of Capsule Corp. The gravity changer just falls into the crater. But they're ultimately, Broly is there. Super Saiyan form finally receding a bit. Just, the Kari form is receding. Ultimately, Bulma and Trunks go in, they finally give their husband and father a hug, and just Broly's just like, tears are rolling down Broly's eyes. Just after everything. Sorry, one of my pillowcases falling off. After everything he saw, he's just, he's finally all the emotions just finally drained out of him. I'm sorry, Goku. He finally gets up and he sees his brother there, and just he wipes the tears away. Just he finally is able to calm down and compose himself. But unfortunately, it's like, yeah, no, it's Broly, you all right? And it's like, I'm sorry about everything. No, it's all right, man. We don't blame you. And you did take out Frieza and his forces. It looks like Vegeta, Nappa, and Raditz got away, but that's not to be concerned. Williams will go and collect the Dragon Balls right now. Goku will be back in no time. That's which Broly did. He's like, realizing that's right. He'll be back. Yeah, he'll be back. And sure enough, they get the dragon and they resurrect him. Chaozu shows back up. Chaozu, I'm so sorry. I was like, yeah, it's all right, Broly. Just what happened there? I mean, that was like what Goku does, but more powerful, like underage. Sorry, a little stuffing in the nose. And he explains how it's like Goku unlocked during training, and during our training we can constantly been able to feel there was a next level to my power. I'm guessing it was unlocking that form, but there was something different about it. I was blinded by just rage. All I was seeing was red, and I could barely control. All I wanted was to get my brother's body back, and a friend or foe, it didn't matter to me. You were all just in my way, and he just apologizes for his actions. It's all right, Broly. You were able to take it. You were able to control yourself in the end. That's all that matters. And besides, I'm gonna let's not tell Chi-Chi or Gohan about this. They all have a laugh. And so the day is shaved, but for how long? Frieza's dead, like straight out dead. And the Saiyans were able to escape, but they were not able to. Like, Frieza's ship is gone. I mean, there's more Frieza forces out there. And really, we're back into peacetime for a little while. Goku and Broly are training. This time, however, they're training to try to help Broly hit the Super Saiyan form without going nuts. Broly's trying to remember how he felt, the tingly back thing. Through training, Broly ultimately is able to do it at will. And he actually finds that it's easier to be in this form than his Akari form because the emotional toll is nowhere near as drastic on him. Like, he's not feeling uncontrollable blind rage in this form like he did the last time. And he realizes it's because his Akari was activated when he activated the Super Saiyan last time. So, they trained to try to help him control this, and he seems to be able to get a decent grasp on it. He's not losing himself like he was constantly before. Meanwhile, like everyone else keeps training. At this point now, the power levels for the humans aren't going to be as relevant, sadly. But what else is going on in the depths of space? Do Frieza, Nappa, and Raditz go and, try to take over Frieza's empire? Well, they could try to run it, but there's the problem of King Cold, and the Ginyus are still around too. Like, the Ginyus still beat these guys out wholeheartedly in terms of power. So they're just now, it's like we're gonna just seclude ourselves on some planet to do some heavy, intense training for a good while. Hopefully no one will find us, but if they do, well, we'll deal with it when we deal with it. So that's what they've been doing for, honestly, the last couple of years. And eventually news gets around that Frieza was killed, and that does reach King Cold. King Cold just saying, my poopsie was killed. Impossible. Who could kill my darling little boy? I don't know, sir, but the rumor is it was a Saiyan on the planet Earth. Earth, you say? Plot a course for Earth. And so they're heading to Earth. And, things are fine at the San homestead, at the Briefs homestead, until, Goku ultimately, they sense the power of King Cold coming, who eclipses his son in terms of power. Like, we know for a fact that Cold was still stronger than Frieza, even in his cyborg form. And I believe in an interview, Akira Toriyama did say that if he had allowed Cold to go into his final form, he would have been as strong as Semi-Perfect Cell, which is impressive, to say the least. So they arrive at the ship, or at least they're heading to the ship. They sense another power there. And again, I said that out loud without realizing, did I want to do this the way that it's done in the series? Because there's a Trunks in this timeline, and I'll be honest, I don't see the androids in of this timeline without Jiro or anything like that freaking killing anyone, freaking taking down Broly or Goku at this point. But that said, well, I mean, Super Saiyan was showing off earlier. Same with Akari. So they might have been calibrated to compensate for that multiplier. But then you can factor in also Broly Super Saiyan and his Akari and more training. It is a fair question. I will say Trunks shows up. It is an alternate timeline Trunks, though. Again, because multiverse is a bitch. He actually dispatches Cold. They sense the power output. It's like, what? That's a pretty powerful energy. Goku. It's good to see you. Wait, but I thought Frieza was supposed to show up here. It's like, well, no, we took care of Frieza years ago. And who are you? And to which, obviously Broly's like, you can't, Trunks. It's like, wait, how do you know my name? What are you talking about? I'm your father. I'd know you anywhere. Wait, what? No, my father was Vegeta. No, I'm pretty sure I'm your dad. What's going on here? And what happened to you? And to which he's like, wait, and who are you? It's me. I'm your father, Broly. Broly? Oh, crap, basket. Then he realized, and he explains why he's there, because multiverse and all that stuff, or multiverse timelines anyway. And about the androids coming, it's like, I need to go get back to to the right timeline. But he stops and thinks, and he does hand Goku the heart virus. He goes back to his own timeline, gets another vial, and tries again. And this time ends up in the proper timeline, and all that shenanigan happens. Excuse me. So just to be safe, and so these androids are coming, so everyone's going to be training again. Meanwhile, the word that Cold was killed finally reaches Vegeta, Raditz, and Nappa. And say, so it's finally our time. But before we do anything, let's take care of those pesky Ginyus first. The Ginyus would be the only threat they would have. Fortunately, all these years later, and we know Vegeta did it out of just pure desperation and rage. All three of them have actually achieved the Super Saiyan form. Through a lot of grueling training and a lot of hardship. Vegeta, yeah, they all achieved the standard Super Saiyan form. None of them are as strong as Goku or Broly, but they have it to the point where they are going to be able to clean house with the Ginyus, which they do, and they overtake the business for the time being. Meanwhile, 3 years down in training, Broly and Goku have been, basically keeping on to, training harder. I actually think without that time Goku's had Super Saiyan at this point and actually had the Master Super Saiyan form, I'd say he'd actually hit Super Saiyan 2 in another 3 years worth of training. Broly doesn't have that, but he does have the perfected Super Saiyan and has even been working to incorporate Akari with it. He finds that he can't transform into it safely in Akari, but he can go into Akari while it's Super Saiyan, and it doesn't mess with him as much. That's the way he goes about doing the Akari form. In terms of power, at this point now, it's totally asinine for me to talk about how strong they are in terms of like an actual number. But in terms of where they compare to each other, Goku had pretty much overcome Broly in terms of base initially, and that's no change here. In fact, he probably gets a Zenkai from coming back from the dead to some degree. And on Super Saiyan 2, Goku's still the stronger in base, but obviously Broly has the better overall final form. So if I were to just use a random number here, let's say Goku was a 10, whereas Broly is an 8. And we'll use that in like hundreds of millions or whatever. Not necessarily, I'm not saying I'm doing 100 million, but I'm saying, think of it in that terms. Or like Broly's a 7, let's say. Broly's a 7, whereas Goku is a 10. Goku, obviously, he powers up at 10 times, he's going to be at 1,000. Goku at full power. Broly is going to actually be at 5,000 because of the way his transformation works. I will say, though, it probably puts a lot more strain on Broly to do that still than it would be just to transform into Super Saiyan 2. Kind of like Kaioken on Super Saiyan. It's very harsh. You shouldn't do it. This is because it's just standard transformation, not a Kaioken ability. It's easier for someone to do. Anyway, the gang is ready for the immersion of the androids. Goku, they paid attention with Goku just in case. Like I said, days prior, if whether he's showing symptoms or not, he started to take the medicine just to be, work it up in his system as a preemptive strike. So Goku is fine to do battle. So they show up. Jiro and 19 are there because Trunks going to their affected timeline. Unfortunately, they are not able to. They're not strong enough to take on Goku or Broly at this point. They're stronger than I think in canon, by the way. I do think that because Broly puts a whole other monkey wrench into the machine. But I don't think they are still strong enough to deal with it, especially when you're dealing with the Super Saiyan forms. And a more perfected Super Saiyan form. The Yamcha still gets Yamcha though. I think that still happens. But they're squaring off. Goku does the attack. He absorbs the energy. Goku's like, oh that's no good, and he powers up to Super Saiyan, and Super Saiyan 2, and then goes in, and this time completely takes 19 down. Jiro wants to be able to get away and save his own face, but Broly and the gang's not letting him do that, and ultimately he would get taken down as well. Just hands or his gut, whatever. Now this raises the issue. Cell needs to be able to find the good doctor's lab, because otherwise he can't become perfect. And right now, there's no way on this God's green earth he can take on Goku and Broly, let alone Goku or Broly. So Cell, he's getting energy. Kami notes the disappearances, and he contacts Goku and Broly. They go look into it. Cell, though, does not want to go up against these guys yet if he can't help it. So he's actually keeping his power suppressed, and he's hightailing out of there. Unfortunately, he just doesn't know where to look for him. The androids should have been because he thinks the androids should have been activated at this point, and it's a fair point. They should have been. So he thinks they're out there, but he hasn't actually. He actually starts asking people that he's about to kill too. They haven't heard anything about any androids. And the more he asks, the more he realizes, could it be that they weren't activated in this timeline? But that would imply then that. And he just gets a sick smile on his face. I know exactly where you are, brother, sister. And he just flies off. Unfortunately, he's flying off at such speed that it does raise his power level up, where they are able to sense him, and they go flying after him. And Cell can sense this. He's like, damn it. And he's like, I must get there. And he finally gets to the lab, only for Broly and Goku to confront him up there. Or confront him. It's like, who are you? What are you? It's like, damn it all. Give me a few moments and you can... And he just tears the door off. And you'll learn exactly what I am. It's like, you're danger. You're the one responsible for all the disappearances. Means to an end. But I thank you. Thank you. Once I am perfected, you will give me the perfect opponents to go up against. Sorry, but we're not going to let that happen. They go to Super Saiyan, and it's like, Solar Flare! What the... and, yeah, it's like, and, he goes in, it's like, now, where are you? Yes. What happened? How do you know that? How do you know Tian's technique? I don't know. And then they feel it. The uptick, the power, what is that? Yes. And yeah, it's like, yes. That's one down. And now for the piece that easy storms. And he opens 18. 18 says, he just, and they both just, and finally their eyes clear. The lab explodes, including this version's universe's Cell. And there he stands in all his perfection. Then, yes, this is what I truly was after. Now then, Goku, Broly, why don't you and I have a little chat? And Broly and Goku are there. Still in Super Saiyan, mind you, but they're just like, what is this thing? It's like, who is this? What is it? It's setting so many power levels. You'll learn soon enough. And that is where we end part 6. I got it a little short, right around the 20-minute mark. Just have other things I need to get done during the day. So my girlfriend needs to use this room for D&D, so I got to get out of here. Until then, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. I'll see you next time.